Test, test. John, what up? I got itis. Oof. immense bass, tiny subwoofer, made easy. Hmm. Made easy? Eh. Took a lot, bro. It took a lot of recording, tweak, run it through my phone, see how it sounds. No. Then go back, erase everything I recorded, tweak it a little more, tweak, the plugins and whatever a little more. Then press record, you know. I want to make an app or make a really, really, really tiny something really small that'll emulate the sound of a an iPhone or an Android because it's a pain in the neck um, having to run the audio and then record it on my phone and listen to it and then be like, nope, that's not it, and then record again and run it through my phone, and then, you know what I mean. So either I'm gonna make an app or I'm just gonna make a speaker, a tiny, tiny speaker. I could just plug it in and just like, oh, that's what a cell phone sounds like. Cause that's the thing. Um, I could get it to sound good on like a speaker like this big, or like really, really boomy speakers. You know, I got different. I've got one, two, three, four, five monitoring systems, and I'll go and check it in the car. Um, but the one thing I wanna either I think I'm gonna make one. I'm gonna make a speaker that pretty much sounds like a cell phone. Um, but yeah, because I'm tired of just listening through a cell phone. It takes a lot, man. You know. Well, once you get it, then you got it. Um, like for instance, when I'm playing here, oh excuse me, what I'm playing here sounds good on any system. You know, it sounds good on a cell phone, sounds good in a car, sounds good on boombox speakers, sounds good on studio monitors, sounds good in mono, sounds good in stereo, sounds good, which is like the more different kinds of monitors that you use, the more likely sounds good in just regular home stereo speakers. Whatever you use, like the more speakers you use, the more different formats it use, different size speakers. You know, I test them through headphones. I test them through earbuds. You know what I mean? So I make sure that my drum sound sounds good on every as many. And now it's never gonna be every, but earbuds, cheap headphones, professional headphones, flat headphones, um, a mono speaker, Yamaha speakers, uh, Mackeys, NS10s. I got NS10s. I got HS8s. I got a mono Oratone. Um, I got a little pink speaker that's like a little like a boomboxy kind of speaker. It's like this big. Um, every kind of format I try to listen to it on and make it sound good on every format. And you can do it. You would think, oh well, I'll if I make it sound good on this, it's not going to sound good on that. No, you can do it. You can do it. Manny, what up, man? What's that? Noah Sape? What up? I'll be sick. Oh yeah. Well, I've learned this. Um, I've done a lot of audio engineering. A lot, bro. Like just as much audio engineering as I've done playing drums. And drummers are the worst. There's a reason why when you go in the studio, a lot of times, oh, excuse me. A lot of times the engineer will be like, I don't like that sound, you know. Um, Cause as a drummer, we tend to like we think we have this, what we hear in our head, and a lot of times it's kind of weird. It starts off with the source, but drummers don't really think that. They think, oh, it sounds good, and you're like, it may sound good to you, but it doesn't sound good recorded, or or mixed down, or it doesn't cut through the mix, or whatever. So, you know, or there's like they don't like a lot of drumming or playing drums is learning how to properly tune your stuff without hearing overtones. You know, no overtones. You know what I mean? Um, and getting your cymbals to sound good. You know, with no weird kind of tinny sound. Um, so it really starts off with how you tune your drums, and then it starts with what kind of mics you use. Because really, and once it's about, you got the right mics, That's why a lot of guys will get like top of the line drums and top of the line mics, and their stuff still sounds like trash. After that, you have to know what kind of compression you want on it, because after recording, it's about controlling the sound, you know, um, and that comes down to, are you running your drums through a bus? Like my kick, my room mics, my snare are all in the same bus. There's one drum bus, it's a mono bus. So it's dead center. The overheads, they're now my kick, my room mics, and my kicks, room mic, and snare, they are ran through what I call the drum bus. But that I use an API compressor. I just like API compressors. They're like one of the best compressors for drums. I've, I use also an SSL compressor, but they're kind of, they hiss. They got the APIs are quieter. And then my toms I run through a stereo bus. Um, these two are on the same channel. It's just a mic splitter. One channel, it's like one output or one input, and it has this. The one side goes. The one side goes to the interface. Then it splits out into two, so you can hook two microphones up to one channel. Like I have all Neumann TLM 103s, so they're 40-volt phantom power, whatever. Two mics can be ran either passive or active. Two mics can be ran on one channel. Both of my snares, they're on the same channel. These two toms, the two floor toms, they're on the same channel. My room mics, both mics, are on the same channel. My overhead has one channel. Both of my overheads have their own designated channel. And this mic has its own designated channel. Um, the two kick drum mics, those are on the same channel. So really, there's one, two, three, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 mics going through 8 inputs. You know, and really, I could actually add 2 more if I wanted to. With this channel right here, because I had it and I want to do it. I got to get better mics. I could run another pencil mic right there for this side and run another pencil mic. I want to get 2 pencil mics. Run another pencil mic under here, like right there, and just mount it straight up at the ride cymbal, you know, and it'll be on that channel and on that channel. Um, but yeah, that's a pretty slick trick. Mic splitters. With mic splitters, another thing too is you don't have to worry about phase issues. Like if you're miking the top and the bottom, it's better off that you get a mic splitter and run them both on the same channel, because you're gonna have phase issues if not. The more mics you have, the more likely you're gonna have phase issues. Um, but but yeah, so you know, it's a slick little trick. I just started doing it, and I wondered. I was like, man, I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing or whatever. And I was like, well, it sounds good and it makes sense. But I saw Rick Beato. He kind of does the same thing with his floor times and his snares. Like he'll have if he wants the full volume of like the floor toms, he'll have a tom on a mic on the top and a mic on the bottom. You know, they're both attached to a mic splitter so they can go onto one channel. If he's micing the top and the bottom snare, he uses a mic splitter so they go into one channel. So, but yeah, it's like less phase issues, and it saves you inputs, you know. Like if you're stuck with an 8 channel input, you're stuck with an 8 channel input. There's nothing you can do. So, but yeah, it worked great, you know. Um, so I got to take this snare off again. I got to take the head off. Oh no, it works. Yeah, it works. Yep, it works. Okay. Yeah, it works. All right. Well, that's good to know. This snare has a muffle. It's got one of those things where you twist it and it's got that piece of felt that goes on the head. I don't use it, but yeah, yep, the API 2500. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's why I want to get more snares. I got 3 so far. Um, but the thing about the snare sound um is what I do is I'll sit there and run an EQ where the snare is, and I'll find where the pitch of the snare is. Wherever it bumps the highest, I'll slightly accentuate that. You know, and you can do it with both snares because I have this one where okay, where this one is lower, so I I found the pitch in that one and I was like, oh, it's right there, so I bumped it right there. So you bump the frequency up slightly. And then with the room mics, you kind of do the same thing. You gotta slightly bump it. Don't do it too much, but slightly bump it where the snare, whatever snare, however many snares. Like I do it with this snare, it's about 250 hertz. Yeah, about 250 hertz. And this is about I don't know, man. I can't remember, but I know it's bumped there. No, it's not 250. It's 285. 285 hertz for this snare. You know, um, but you can't bump it too much, or else it sounds weird and wonky. But you want to bump it enough, man. Um, and then you do the same thing for the room mic. Now, I don't have a big room, um, so I have to actually create my 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 reverb, you know. And I with that, man, I just create it based on the measurements I like. Like, you know, if I like the reverb of a like I've done this, man. I've gone to places and played gigs at certain places and I love the way the reverb sounds. So, I keep a infrared ruler. It's they're cheap. I got it for like 15 bucks. But you lean it against the wall. You just do it before everybody, you know, you do your sound check and everything. And if you like it, I'll pull it out pause, lean it against the wall, be like, tuck, tuck, and then you hear a tuck, 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 and then it'll stop clicking. Once it stops clicking, it tells you the measurements. And then what I do is once I get home, I'll like write it down. Once I get home, I'll just put in the dimensions in the reverb that I use, and I'll use it like this right here. This is my church reverb. This is the reverb this is what the drums sound like at my church. Um, well, the reverb anyway. So and I liked it, so I just tick tick tick. People thought I was crazy. They were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Just measuring the room, so I could get dial in the sound." And a couple of people knew what I was doing. They were like, "Wow, it's kind of smart." Um, so because this room is small, man. It's small, but it's dead, which is what I like. It's small, but it's dead. If you got a big room and it's got a nice reverb, you could clap your hands and be like, "Oh man, it sounds nice." But if it's like really small, then you want to deaden everything, so you can lay. You want to deaden everything, find the sweet spot in the room, and then you can add whatever reverb you want to it. Like I used to have my drums over there. That was a horrible spot. Horrible. It was completely horrible. So I had one set up over here, and I had another set up over here. And the one over here always sounded better, but the one over there was just a better kit with just had like these. It was really nice. And I had another kit it's packed up. It always sounded good over here, and I was like, it was a kit that I made. Like this tom is from a kit that I made, but it always sounded good right here. But I was like, this is a homemade kit, but it sounds better than my nice kit over there. So I was like, you know what? I think this is the sweet spot of the room. So I just moved my kit to right here. And then once I did that, there's a channel that goes up like this, like the roof. It goes up, across, and down. So you guys can't really see it, but I put what they call a cloud. I put it up there because what was happening was that channel was like there was like reverberations bouncing up there, and it was just sounding really boxy. So in order to cut them, I put a huge piece of acoustic tile, um, the foam tile right there. I put foam tile on the door right there, and I put a cloud right there. And then I put another huge piece of foam right above this overhead. Because I just didn't want any reverberation bouncing off the ceiling. The walls. This wall back here is double padded. That one's double padded. That one isn't. I think it's really this big wall right here, is double padded, and that wall is double padded. And then that's where the garage door is. I put kind of like what's the name of those? Theater curtains. Thick theater curtains. I just framed it out and put thick theater curtains there to absorb whatever sound is there. So this room is really, really, really dead. So so I've done some things, but treating your room is definitely important. People people don't realize how important it is, you know. Cre- Treating your room and finding the sweet spot. You're never gonna completely um, get rid of sound. You're never gonna completely. Well, you can do it. Actually, you can do it, but it costs a lot of money. Um, and I'll say this: whatever, if you can see light through a crevice, sound's gonna go through it. Like the door I have here, it like this room. It doesn't matter how. Like I've recorded live bands in here. It's quieter in the house than it is outside. And the reason why is because that's I like that door is a big steel door with a big steel frame. It's you know what I mean, and it has it's thick. It's like loaded with acoustic, like the foam, acoustic foam that you spray in there. So it's loaded with that stuff. So it's a heavy door. It's you know when I say heavy, don't get your fingers caught in it. It'll break your fingers. You know, little kids' fingers, it'll snap them right off. But yeah, it's a thick, heavy door. Um, but yeah, so when you're like, I can sit there and play drums, and me and my wife's bedroom is like right above us, and she'll be talking like, cause she works from home, and she'll be in a meeting on her computer on Zoom, and she'll be like, "It's fine, I don't hear anything." So you know, or my kids, when they're in school, they'll be at the like, there's another room over there that's a gym. I converted it into a gym. And then you walk up the stairs, the living room's there and the kitchen's right there. And they're usually at like, well, it's the kitchen's here and the dining room table's over there. But they'll be at the dining room table, you know, in their Zoom classes, doing their schoolwork, talking to the teachers, and no problem. So, you know, so I did pretty good, just really just and it's just from trial and error, and just doing a lot of homework and studying and reading up on things and asking questions and what have you. about to get hit by a train. No, the train hit him. The train hit him. The train hit him. Oh. Oh, ooh. Ran the bike over. Bro, why couldn't you pick up your bike? You're an idiot. What's wrong with you? It's a bicycle. You can't pick that thing up? Yo, you know what's crazy? When I was in high school, my friend got hit by a train. The only thing he suffered was a broken leg. Uh, he couldn't hear the train. He had his headphones on, and he's walking, and it clipped him. Wow! And just like he's walking, and just as he walks off the track, he used to, like, we'd walk, and then his house was along the path of the railroad tracks. So he would walk along the railroad tracks on the way home. And I remember it was crazy because we were walking home. He's my buddy. I walked home from school every day with him. And next thing I hear is, yeah, you heard what happened to Dave Miz? I'm like, no. He's like, he got hit by a train. I was like, no. They're like, no, he's fine. He broke his leg. So then, you know, I think I asked his older sister, because his older sister was in the same. She was like in the same grade as my sister. And I was like, "Yo, is Dave all right?" I expected him to be like mangled and like crippled. She goes, "Yeah, he broke his leg." So I said, "Well, can I like stop by?" She's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So I asked him. I was like, "What happened?" He's like, "I'm walking on the tracks. I got my headphones on. I couldn't hear anything." He was like, "Just as I walk up, because the train, like his backyard is like the train tracks are right there, and his backyard's right there." He's like, "I'll walk off the train tracks, and next thing I knew, I'm flying through the air." He said, "So it clipped as I was off the tracks. It clipped my back leg, and it spun me in the air." He's like, and it broke my leg. Broke his leg. So, well, yeah, he got hit by a train, man. Another friend of mine, his mom, him, like they lived about a half a mile further from my boy Dave, and their house was on the train tracks. She found out she had cancer, and she just walked into the train tracks. It was crazy. weird. I can do it when I lead with my left, but I can't when I lead with my right. Your church drummer was saying that? I'm going to say this. The problem is a lot of people like, a lot of people think you could just EQ. Like, you can't EQ away everything. EQ isn't a. E, whoa. The, the bullet, it caught him in the head, but he had a Kevlar helmet. Wow. Wow. And they caught it on GoPro. That's crazy. That helmet saved his life. Whoa, caught him in the head, man. There it is. Wow. He peeped his head out and pop. There it is. Caught him in the head. Luckily, fortunately, he had a Kevlar helmet on. Just scared him. But yeah, people think like there's an old song. It's a disco song. It's like I can't fix because I can do it in the mix. You know, that term actually came from that term actually came from just people being lazy. Oh, just fix it in the mix. No, don't fix it in the mix. Because they're basically crap rolls downhill. It's like, oh, so you can't record it right or you can't play right, so you expect me to fix your mess. I'm not fixing your mess, you know. Um, like I tell people, like I can't, like don't. I've had situations where, like, they're like, well, Mark, can't you auto tune it? I'm like, why don't you just teach them how to sing right? Like, I was working with this group. It was a girl group, and originally they just wanted me to engineer it, but the track they had that they were singing to was garbage. So I heard it. I was like, yo, I got something that you guys would like. So I played it for them. They were like, yes. So we did the paperwork and everything, and he used my track. And I don't want to name names because she might come across this video and be like, "Oh, so that's how you really feel." Well, she knows how I feel, but I just don't want to name names. But um, she goes, like they sang the song, like I played the track. They were like, "Yeah, we want to sing. We want to use this song." They sang the song on another track. I took the track and I just it was at a like it was in a different key. So I just pitched my track. I could just pitch it. Turn it up or turn it down. Doesn't matter. Raise the pitch or lower the pitch. And whoa, what the heck is that? That's fake. How fake can you get? Knock it off. That's one of their buddies. Stop it. That's fake. That's their homeboy. The limbs do not contort. Stop it. It's like a dude in his skivvies and his hair all over his face, like pushed down. This is fake. No, it's not. It's fake. It's a dude. No, it's a dude. It's a dude. It's a dude. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was one of their friends. It was one of their friends. Yeah, the dude's wearing shoes, bro. It's fake. Or one of their buddies playing a trick. It was a hoax set up for views. But I'm watching this thing about like creepy videos, and I'm like, come on, bro, stop it. Um, but yeah, so and then she's like, I'm like, wow. So I put my little magic, my mojo on it, and I send it to her. And she's like, well, can't you auto tune them? I'm like, why don't you just teach him how to sing? You're a vocal coach, teach him how to sing. Well, I mean, it's just too much, and blah 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 blah. I'm like, all right, well. So finally, I just was like, look, you know, you got a producer, right, that you're working with. She's like, yeah. I'm like, well, tell your producer to do it. So it was my track, and they cut my vocals in my house. But I'm not doing all that auto tune stuff. You go, yes, for you. I'll just I'll give you the music and I'll do the engineering. But I'm not like teach your kid, teach these girls how to sing. Or just get some girls who can actually sing. And I told her, I remember telling her that. Oh, dude was trying to rob him. Yeah, dude was trying to rob him. Yeah, dude was trying to rob him. She was trying. Yeah, that was a setup. Yeah. Oh yeah. Is there another dude in front of him right there? They set him up. It was a setup. Kick him. Yeah. Yeah, he flipped him the bird. Yeah. He flipped him the bird. Oh, they try to get him in broad daylight. Come on, man. Hmm? This guy, huh? So what did he do? He died with his head in the toilet? Was Fisher a decent brand? That's a good question. I don't know what a lesginka like. I don't know what that is, man. That's a song. That's a Square Pusher song, I think. Whew, I'm trying to get this itis out of here. Trying to burn this food off.